iPhones, iPads, tablets, and computers. This is what we're using to read on nowadays. But what happens if you are in a zombie apocalypse and your internet and electricity go out? What are you going to do then? There are great benefits to reading on digital devices, but books provide an emotional, physical, and mental benefits that ebooks just can't provide. So what is the concern regarding reading ebooks on digital devices? Well, this is your brain. And right here is your hypothalamus, which controls your circadian rhythms, which is your sleep and awake clock, which is affected by light and dark. When it gets dark, it sends a message to your brain to release melatonin. Melatonin makes your body feel tired. Backlight displays suppresses melatonin, affecting circadian rhythms, which makes you feel out of sorts, and it makes it harder for you to pay attention. In a Harvard medical study published in the Journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, 12 people were taken into a laboratory. For 5 days, they read books. For 5 days, they read iPads. At the end of the study, it was noted that those who were reading iPads had lower melatonin levels, and also it took them longer to fall asleep. What was also noted was that a continued disruption in your sleep, in a helpful sleep patterns, there was an increase of risk of cardiovascular disease, and also an increase to obtain or to contract a metabolic disease like obesity, diabetes, and cancer. So most everybody at some time in their day is on some kind of electronic device, reading some sort of something throughout the day. So in a study done by Naomi Barron, Words on Screen, The Fate of Reading in a Digital World, she surveyed 429 university students. Nearly half of them complained of eye strain after reading digitally. It was also pointed out that excessive screen time damages both the white and gray matter in your brain. Cognitive capacity was another thing that was affected. When the distractions and notifications of a digital device come up while you're reading, your brain suppresses that, which takes energy, which in turn affects your cognitive capacity. People also have a tendency when reading ebooks to scan instead of actually reading for content, which is going to affect reading comprehension. There is some upsides to digital devices. They are compact and they can hold lots of books. But on the other side, if you lose a digital device that has all your books on it, you're going to pay hundreds to thousands of dollars to replace it. Whereas if you lose a book, you might be out between maybe $30, $50. So why are traditional paperback books the better option? Well, when ebooks were targeted to adults when they first came out, but now children have fallen in love with ebooks. Dr. Jim Taylor, author of Raising Generation Tech, says don't get rid of ebooks yet. There's a point for them, and they have some great benefits. So the first one is tactile sensation. There's something about feeling and having a physical book in your hand and be able to open it and see where you were and where you're going and how long it's going to take you to get there. There's something about the smell. And being able to write in the margins. It gives you a sense of ownership. So Julia Parrish Morris, a postdoctorate fellow at the University of Pennsylvania, did a study on how children interact with ebooks. She says books help you fall in love with reading, and that when you sit down and read or cuddle with a child to read a book, it's going to set the stage for later reading success. Lindsay Gernzer, director of the Early Education Initiative at the New American Foundation, says that books help focus a child's attention. E-readers have music, animation, and games that are loaded into them and can end up being more distracting than useful. She said that technology is so exciting that the conversation focuses on what button to push instead of the content. But there again, there are some good benefits to ebooks for children. First, they're really good for boosting early reading skills when coupled with books. They're more interactive and they give instant rewards. But most importantly, ebooks can actually cater to a child's unique learning styles. For college students, print stood out as the medium for doing serious college work. Students said that it was easier to focus. It feels like the content stays in my head easier, and they also felt they could understand more. There again, they felt that ebooks provided distractions from when they read them on their devices. But what was very interesting is that even though they preferred the traditional books to study with, most of them used ebooks for convenience and because they're cheaper. 40% of the students interviewed in Ms. Barron's study said convenience is why they converted to ebooks. But they also said that if ebooks and textbooks were the same price, they would choose the printed books over ebooks. So ebooks are books are tangible human creations, part of our physical culture. They're mementos of important times of our lives. But ebooks are part of our culture too. We can't throw out the old just to bring into the new, because there's lots to be gained from ebooks and from books. But nothing will ever replace cuddling in front of a nice warm fire with your favorite book and your child and just reading. So if you find yourself in that zombie apocalypse where your internet and your electricity are down, what are you going to do? Well, first, you're going to make sure that all your devices are completely charged. And then you're going to make sure that you have a stack of books.